Hey guys, it's Felix. We're going to go through getting started with HTML and CSS web development. And one of the very first things that you're going to need is something called a text editor. I'm going to use the one that's built into Ubuntu Linux, but I will show you some others that people commonly use. So one of the main ones is Notepad++. You can find this right here, notepad++.org. You can come on over to the downloads page and find your version, whether you're 64-bit. I think everybody's probably 64-bit. You can download that for Windows. There's also another common one would be Sublime Text, and you can get this for anything OS X, Windows, or Linux. This is another nice, really customizable text editor. But as I mentioned, I'm going to use the one built into Linux on Ubuntu, which is text editor or GEdit. So this here is GEdit. When you first open this program, it's going to look pretty lame. Most of you are probably familiar with Notepad from Windows. It's just like a plain box that you can type in, and that's what this will look like the first time you open it up. But it's super customizable. You can go in here, Preferences, and say, oh, I want line numbers in my code. I want to put a margin showing. So let me give you a demonstration. I'll go and open a file here. Alright, here is a sample file from a Ruby on Rails project that I was just playing around as just a demo for something. It's kind of hard to see maybe on this color scheme that I have, but there are line numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see I have a syntax highlighting going on, which helps with recognizing errors and typos and things. See, that won't line up. That won't light up if the word is misspelled. I have the current line highlighted. So we go back into Preferences. We can see some of these. There's highlight current line, highlight matching brackets. So of course that'll be if I put in, you know, 2 of these things here and I start typing between them. Stuff. There, it highlights the corresponding bracket whenever I move my cursor over it, so that can be helpful. So there's all of these things here. As far as the editor goes, you can change how many spaces wide you want your tabs to be when you hit the tab key. So in my case, I have it set at 2. And I actually have another plugin installed. We'll go over those in a moment, that will allow me to insert spaces instead of tabs, but still end up treating it like tabs. So I can hit tab, but then only backspace once, and it just deletes it as if it were a tab, but you can see there's actually 2 tabs in there. And I can have automatic indentation, so that will do something like this. I can tab something in, and then when I hit enter, it keeps it indented like that. So anyway, you can play around with your text editor's preferences. You can download for GEdit and other editors, you can download other color schemes. I'm not going to change mine because I like mine and I forget which one I'm using. But you can pick them and it'll just switch over here. You can change your font. And with GEdit, one of the most powerful things is the plugins that you can get. And that's going to be the same no matter which text editor you have. But with GEdit, you can see I've got this long list of things that I can enable. There's a spell checker. Snippets are really nice for putting commonly used code in a really quick, accessible way, highlighting certain things. So these are super useful. Here's an interesting one. For Git, it'll tell me what lines have changed when I'm using Git version control. Some of you may be familiar with that. We're not going to go into that in this series, but Git is very commonly used for managing versions of software. So with that being said, here is the text editor that we're going to be using. One of the nicest things about getting started with web development is you don't really need to install it. Guaranteed your computer already has an internet browser on it, which is how you're watching this video, and that has everything built into it that you need to interpret the code that you write for your web page. So let's go ahead and create. We're going to create an example file here, and I'm going to create a new folder for this, HTML and CSS. Right here, and I'm just going to call this example.html. So when you are going to write your website code, there are going to be a couple different file extensions that you use. The one for your HTML code, which is going to be hypertext markup language. That's the layout of your code. The layout file is .html. So we'll save that, and every HTML file is going to follow a certain basic structure before it gets down to your customized website code. So the first thing that we need is something called a doc type. This is just telling whatever is reading the file that it is indeed HTML. Then we have this, and for now just type this out with me and I'll explain these in a moment. Okay. HTML, you'll see with this less than bracket, the word HTML, and a right greater than bracket. And then down at the end of the file, you see less than, / HTML, and then the greater than sign. What does that mean? That means that there's this element in your document, in your layout, called HTML, and it's starting here, and the / means it's ending here. Likewise with head, you have this element in your document called head that's starting here, and then down where the / is, head is ending here. Begin body, end body. This is the core structure that you're going to have for any document. Now look at this. When I pressed save, my syntax highlighting kicked in, and now it recognizes these are tags. In HTML we call these tags, and this is the doc type, and it recognizes that and highlights it appropriately. So if we want to look at the result of this file on our browser, we can do that. I'm going to head over here, pull open Chrome, and I'm going to hit Control O and navigate to this file that I just created and open it. And now you'll see up here in the box at the top we've got file. Normally you have something like http:// right, and then your website google.com, but this case it says file:// and it takes the file path of exactly where this file is on our computer. So your browser, whether you knew it or not, can actually open files and run them that are on your computer, not just on the internet. So don't get freaked out. Nobody else on the internet can see your website that you're building right now. So don't worry about, oh, it doesn't look good enough yet, I'm not finished. No one else can see it. Only you on your computer can see this file. And you'll notice that it's blank. That is because we haven't actually put any content in yet. We've just put the bare bones structure that every website has to have. So let's go ahead and add some content. If you want to put just some normal text on the page, we can use a P tag. P stands for paragraph. Hello. And then look at this, we've got less than, end P. And that is, again, start paragraph. Hey, look, there's stuff inside. Oh, end paragraph. Nothing else after this is going to be inside the paragraph tag. So it's very much like a container. Like here's the container, and then we're putting the lid on it. Nothing else is in this container. So I'm going to go ahead and save this, and we come over here and reload the page, and look at that. We have content showing up. So this is very, very basic, but this is our first website. Congratulations. Well, I hope this video has been helpful to you, and if it has, please like and subscribe, and feel free to leave a comment if you have questions, and I'll do my best to get back to you and answer those. Thank you.